Swadika and good afternoon and welcome to our special coverage on Thai PBS World as we give you the latest on the earthquake in Bangkok. And we'll begin with the recap of what has happened earlier today. So a 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck Myanmar, particularly in Mandalay area, and the tremors were felt in Bangkok and also in many other areas across Thailand, which is actually considered unexpected and unprecedented for many people here. Many people here at Thai PBS are really surprised that an earthquake took place here in Bangkok. So let's give you some of the latest images and footage from what has happened throughout this afternoon. So what you may have seen throughout the day on social media and on TV channels is that there are images and videos of the earthquake. People are trying to escape, to evacuate from several buildings. And one video that actually went viral today was a video of a building under construction in Bangkok, which collapsed this afternoon following the earthquake. And the building that was under construction collapsed in Chatuchak district near the famous Chatuchak weekend market. And this is actually where you could see the massive debris. And many of the workers there were trapped inside that building, but some of them have already been rescued. And at this time of reporting, 3 people were found dead and over dozens of people are still missing under this collapsed building. And based on the information that we have, the collapsed building is the State Audit Office, which is a 30-story building, which costs up to 2.1 billion baht in terms of its construction. And what you're seeing right here, this is a very dramatic image of the collapse of the building earlier today following the earthquake, the 7.7 magnitude earthquake that struck Myanmar, and the tremors were felt across Bangkok. So these are the videos that were uploaded onto social media earlier today. You can see the collapse of the building, which can be seen from afar. No one ever thought that this would ever happen in Bangkok. We have to say that earthquakes are not common here in Bangkok. So when people felt the tremors inside the building or in workplaces, people were pretty surprised. And what you're seeing right here is the people who evacuated from high-story buildings and gathered onto the streets when they felt the tremors. And many people were actually rushing down because some people had no idea what actually happened. Some people posted on Facebook earlier today that, this is Central La Prao, which is another famous shopping mall here in Bangkok. So you can see many of the people were rushing outside of the shopping mall and gathered onto the streets for their safety. They said they're not dead yet. And these were the people who evacuated from Central La Prao earlier today. And you can see that some of these shopping malls, including Central La Prao, had to close early for the sake of their safety of the people as well. So this one is Central La Prao. There are also other locations across Bangkok as well where we have more videos and images coming along to document how they've been trying to escape and evacuate due to the emergency situation. And this is Thai PBS earlier today. So most of us, including many of the employees here at Thai PBS, were evacuating the building as well. So you can see many people were rushing downstairs and gathered outside of the building because they felt the tremors. So, some of the people I actually talked to earlier today, they actually thought that they were just being dizzy. but no one thought that an earthquake would struck Bangkok as well. So you can see that many of the employees gathered downstairs, and people seem to be panicking as well, and people were trying to call their loved ones, their family members, to see if they were okay, were they safe in their condos or in their houses as well. And the earthquake also disrupted services, the train services and SkyTrain services across Bangkok as well. So the BTS and MRT had to temporarily halt their services after the earthquake was felt across Bangkok. So most of them had to go downstairs instead, and they cannot travel to other places across Bangkok at all because most of these services have been halted for the safety of the passengers. So you see the tremors were felt in many areas across Bangkok, including northern and central regions in Thailand as well. There have been reports that there are tremors felt in Chiang Mai, Nakhon Ratchasima, Nakhon Sawan, and Phuket as well. And because of the earthquake in Thailand this afternoon, people are rushing to safe places, and I believe this one is Chiang Mai, right? So the tremors were felt in Chiang Mai as well, as the province is pretty close to the epicenter of the earthquake. So people were gathering on the streets, not knowing what actually happened, and there have been reports as well that the roads were actually crooked because of the earthquake as well. As you can see that there are reports of some damages there as well. And speaking of the traffic, people have been rushing out. So it has caused severe traffic congestion in several areas, and many of them have been closed due to collapsed buildings, fallen construction cranes, road damage, and also accidents as well. And if you go back to Bangkok, many of the expressways and the mass transportation system have also been suspended. So now we're going to give you another repeat of the dramatic incident following the earthquake here in Bangkok. And it seems like the traffic in Bangkok is expected to worsen throughout the afternoon. And you can see that people were actually rushing home as well because of the earthquake. All right, I think we have the latest on the construction building and also the rescue efforts as well. So right now we have a Thai PBS reporter joining us from where the building under construction collapsed in Chatuchak district, and Kun Yomnak has the latest, and he will be reporting in Thai language, and we will do the translation afterwards. So what you're seeing right now is the building that collapsed earlier today, and there's also a condominium where you could see that the swimming pool, the water from the swimming pool actually went down. So if you just join us, we are actually doing a special coverage on the earthquake that struck Myanmar, and the tremors were felt in many areas across Bangkok, and many people have evacuated from buildings, high-rise condominiums as well, and gather on the streets. And we have to say that this is completely unexpected and unprecedented because no one has ever thought that an earthquake would ever struck Bangkok. And And right now, Kun Kam Kun Yomnak is joining us from where the building under construction collapsed in Chatuchak district. He has the latest and he will be reporting in Thai language and we'll do the translation afterwards. So สวัสดีค่ะคุณคำคุณตอนนี้สถานการณ์ล่าสุดเป็นยังไงบ้างคะคุณคำคุณได้ยินไหมคะ
ได้ยินแล้วครับ
ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะคุณคำคุณค่ะตอนนี้สถานการณ์ได้ยินแล้วค่ะตอนนี้สถานการณ์ล่าสุดเป็นไงบ้างคะ
สถานการณ์ตอนนี้นะครับก็คือมีการวางแผนที่จะเริ่มดำเนินการเข้าไปค้นหาผู้สูญหายภายในอาคารที่พังถล่มลงมาแล้วนะครับเนื่องจากมีการประชุมวางแผนกับผู้เชี่ยวชาญรวมถึงทางหน่วยบรรเทาสาธารณภัยด้านกู้ภัยที่เขาประชุมวางแผนร่วมกันแล้วว่าจะต้องเข้าปฏิบัติการแผนอย่างรอบคอบและปลอดภัยครับตอนนี้เจ้าหน้าที่ก็อยู่ระหว่างการรวมตัวแล้วก็ปรึกษากันเพื่อที่จะเข้านำอุปกรณ์เครื่องจักรขนาดเล็กไปค้นหาผู้ที่ติดอยู่ภายในซากที่พังถล่มลงมารวมถึงการใช้สุนัขเคนายเข้าไปในพื้นที่เพื่อดมกลิ่นหาจุดผู้สูญหายนะครับเพื่อที่จะไม่ได้ยากต่อการรื้อพื้นที่ทั้งหมดแต่หาจุดโดยเฉพาะจุดก่อนเพื่อที่จะใช้อุปกรณ์นั้นหาผู้สูญหายในจุดนั้นๆครับแต่ถ้าผมจะไล่เรียงอย่างนี้ครับผมว่าในช่วงเวลาเกิดเหตุนะครับก็มีหลายส่วนเข้ามาในพื้นที่เป็นอย่างมากนะครับก็มีทั้งอย่างภาพที่ท่านผู้ชมเห็นอยู่ในขณะนี้คือกองอำนวยการร่วมจะมีของเจ้าหน้าที่กู้ภัยทางสำนักการแพทย์ของกรุงเทพมหานครมูลนิธิราชประชาแล้วก็หน่วยงานอีกหลายหน่วยงานเลยครับมาจัดเป็นกองอำนวยการร่วมอยู่บริเวณจุดนี้หากผู้ที่ได้รับบาดเจ็บหรือผู้สูญหายถูกช่วยเหลือออกมาแล้วก็จะถูกนำตัวมาไว้อย่างที่เต็นท์ที่ท่านผู้ชมเห็นอยู่นะครับนี่คือเต็นท์ที่ทางมูลนิธิราชประชานำมาเตรียมความพร้อมเพื่อที่จะรับรองแผนการกู้ภัยที่จะนำผู้ได้รับบาดเจ็บนั้นมาไว้ที่จุดนี้เพื่อคัดกรองก่อนจะนำตัวส่งไปรักษาตามโรงพยาบาลต่างๆนะครับส่วนอีกส่วนหนึ่งนะครับผมจะเล่าย้อนไปในถึงเวลาที่เกิดเหตุนะครับถ้าที่ท่านผู้ชมเห็นอยู่ในขณะนี้ก็คือบริเวณตึกสูงๆที่ท่านผู้ชมเห็นอยู่ก็คือเป็นซากของสิ่งที่ผลักหักพังถล่มลงมานั้นคือเป็นอาคารของสำนักงานตรวจเงินแผ่นดินซึ่งอยู่ระหว่างการก่อสร้างเป็นสำนักงานใหม่ที่กำลังจะย้ายเข้ามานะครับด้วยงบการก่อสร้าง 2,000 กว่าล้านบาทก่อสร้างเพียงได้แค่ 30%เกิดพังถล่มลงมาเมื่อช่วงบ่ายที่ผ่านมาหลังจากเกิดเหตุการณ์แผ่นดินไหวผมได้ไปสอบถามคนงานก่อสร้างคนหนึ่งที่อยู่ในไซต์งานแห่งนี้นะครับเขาก็ให้ข้อมูลว่าขณะก่อสร้างนั้นก็ได้ยินเสียงเหมือนอาคารแตกร้าวก่อนที่จะมีเสียงแผ่นปูนขนาดใหญ่ลงมากระทบพื้นดินเสียงดังสนั่นทำให้กลุ่มคนงานเองวิ่งหนีเอาตัวรอดสามารถเอาตัวรอดได้บางส่วนครับแต่บางส่วนนั้นติดอยู่ในซากที่พังถล่มลงมาซึ่งตัวเขาเองก็ระบุว่าลูกน้องของตัวเขาเองซึ่งเป็นช่างไฟฟ้าก็ติดอยู่ภายในอาคารซากที่ถล่มลงมาแห่งนี้ซึ่งขณะนี้ก็ลุ้นให้เจ้าหน้าที่นั้นเข้าช่วยเหลือออกมาได้อย่างปลอดภัยครับและก็จากภาพที่ท่านผู้ชมเห็นอยู่ขณะนี้อาคารแห่งนี้ตั้งอยู่บนพื้นที่11 ไร่ของการรถไฟแห่งประเทศไทยโดยมีการเช่าพื้นที่เพื่อก่อสร้างเป็นอาคารสำนักงานมีความสูงทั้งหมด30 ชั้นตอนนี้ไม่เหลือแม้แต่สภาพของอาคารให้เห็นนะครับแต่มีอีกส่วนหนึ่งซึ่งเป็นอาคารส่วนล่างที่สูงอยู่ประมาณ 5-6 ชั้นเป็นอาคารสำนักงานอีกส่วนหนึ่งซึ่งก็ได้รับความเสียหายด้วยเช่นกันในขณะแผนการกู้ภัยครับท่านผู้ชมครับก็จะเห็นได้ว่าขณะนี้เจ้าหน้าที่กู้ภัยก็ยังอยู่ในพื้นที่เพื่อที่จะเตรียมเข้าไปช่วยเหลือผู้ที่สูญหายภายในที่เกิดเหตุซึ่งขณะนี้นะครับก็มีทางเจ้าที่กู้ภัยนั้นออกมาชี้แจงอยู่ว่าจะให้การช่วยเหลืออย่างไรซึ่งเนี่ยครับท่านที่กู้ภัยคนนี้เนี่ยให้ข้อมูลกับผมก่อนหน้านี้ว่ามีบุคคลที่ร้องขอความช่วยเหลืออยู่ภายในซากที่ถล่มลงมาแต่เจ้าหน้าที่ยังเข้าช่วยเหลือไม่ได้เนื่องจากซากที่มันพังถล่มลงมานั้นต้องใช้การวิเคราะห์การคำนวณเพื่อที่จะนำแต่ละชิ้นออกมาให้เกิดความปลอดภัยสูงสุดต่อตัวผู้ได้รับบาดเจ็บเองและเจ้าหน้าที่เองนะครับซึ่งนอกจากการกู้ภัยแล้วในการเตรียมความพร้อมในเรื่องของการรถพยาบาลที่นำมาเตรียมความพร้อมในพื้นที่ทุกคันจะต้องมาลงทะเบียนและก็มีจุดนะครับจุดรับรองจุดสแตนด์บายเพื่อที่จะรับผู้รับบาดเจ็บจากในที่เกิดเหตุนะครับในที่เกิดเหตุจะถูกออกทางประตูนี้นะครับซึ่งเป็นประตูที่ตรงกับจุดที่อาคารที่พังถล่มลงมาก็จะมีสเตเชอร์ที่เป็นเตียงคนไข้คนเจ็บเนี่ยนะครับก็จะถูกลำเลียง ขึ้นรถพยาบาลที่จอดสแตนด์บายเอาไว้อยู่ตรงนี้ครับขึ้นออกมาจอดสแตนด์บายไว้ทั้งหมดเพื่อที่จะนำส่งไปที่โรงพยาบาลหากผู้ที่ได้รับบาดเจ็บหรือผู้สูญหายที่ช่วยเหลือออกมานั้นมีอาการบาดเจ็บสาหัสครับแต่ในส่วนศูนย์กองอำนวยการร่วมก็จะเป็นจุดคัดกรองอีกจุดหนึ่งครับนี่คือสถานการณ์ที่ท่านผู้ชมเห็นล่าสุดนะครับแล้วก็สถานการณ์ทั้งหมดที่อยู่ในขณะนี้จุดผมเป็นจุดเดียวนะครับที่รับความเสียหายขณะนี้พบว่ามีความเสียหายสูงสุดแล้วแต่ยังมีจุดอื่นๆที่ได้รับความเสียหายเหมือนกันซึ่งตรงนี้นะครับยังต้องติดตามสถานการณ์อย่างต่อเนื่องแผนการกู้ภัยถึงแม้แผนการจะออกมาแล้วแต่การดำเนินการกู้ภัยก็ยังไม่ได้คืบหน้าเท่าที่ควรเพราะว่าการดำเนินการแต่ละขั้นตอนนั้นมีความอันตรายทุกเมื่อเข้าไปในพื้นที่ครับ
คุณคะขอสอบถามนิดนึงถึงจำนวนผู้เสียชีวิตตอนนี้ล่าสุดคอนเฟิร์มที่กี่รายคะตอนนี้
ผู้ที่เสียชีวิตยืนยันแล้วนะครับตอนนี้พบผู้เสียชีวิตจำนวนทั้งหมด3คนครับแต่จำนวนยอดผู้ที่เข้าทำงานในไซต์งานก่อสร้างแห่งนี้มีจำนวนทั้งหมด407คนและมีผู้ที่ยังสูญหายไม่ปรากฏรายชื่อที่ผู้รอดชีวิตนะครับจำนวน93คนใน93คนนี้นะครับก็มีบางส่วนที่ถูกช่วยเหลือออกมาแล้วแต่ที่ผมเห็นด้วยสายตามีจำนวน3คนซึ่งอาจจะติดอยู่ภายในนี้ถึง90คนเลยครับ
โอเคค่ะขอบคุณคุณคำคุณมากๆเลยนะคะ
ครับ
ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ so that was คุณคำคุณยมนาค from the location where the building collapsed in Chatuchak district. So to give you a summary in English, so the rescue efforts are actually underway to rescue those who have been stuck inside the collapsed building, and they have deployed the machine to remove the debris and using K9 dogs to find the victims, to locate the victims as well. And many of the officials from several authorities have joined to rescue the victims as well. And those who have been rescued, according to Kamkun, he said that they will be sheltered in tents before they will be sent to hospitals. And for the building that collapsed is actually a newly constructed building of the State Audit Office, which is a 30-story building. And that construction project costs up to 2.1 billion baht, and so far the building is only 30% complete, and suddenly it collapsed earlier today. And he also said that the rescue efforts have been very, very difficult because they have to figure out how they can remove all of the debris in order to rescue the workers. All right, and he also confirmed that there are 3 people who have died and 93 workers remain missing. Some of them may have been rescued already, but the total number of workers for that particular construction site is up to 407 people. 3 people have confirmed to be dead, and at least 90 people remain missing. And apart from this location, there are other locations where we see a lot of damage. And one of the videos that you've seen earlier is that a swimming pool that was pouring out of a condominium because of the earthquake. You could see like a waterfall coming from a rooftop swimming pool. So I believe that's the swimming pool that actually was pouring out of a condominium. So this is another dramatic video that came in on social media as well. And these are the latest on the earthquake in Bangkok and also in other areas across Thailand. And these are the videos and images that we've been seeing. And right now, Frank Hanshi is joining us from GPF Tower, which is in the heart of Bangkok. And he also felt the tremors as well. So Frank, what is the latest situation over there?
Ned, I think it was a very shocking news for Thai people and of course foreign tourists in Thailand, because Thailand hasn't seen this kind of big tremor for a long time, and this might be one of the largest in Thailand. And of course, we've seen the earthquake, the epicenter was in the center of Myanmar, but the tremor, the shock wave was super huge. As in, actually, I was in one of the famous buildings in Bangkok, Thailand, which is Kaesong Amarin, next to Chi Lom Station, and I was there to waiting for a coffee in front of coffee shop, but suddenly actually I felt so dizzy. I thought that it's my problem. I'm going to black out, but actually other people around me, people are actually shouting that the building is about to collapse. And of course, you can see on the screen right now the crane also fell on one building in a condominium in Thailand too. So actually at the time I was in the building in the skyscraper and I ran out from the second floor. And that was very shocking for me too, as in I'm a Taiwanese and we experienced a lot of earthquake and tremors in Taiwan, but now this time it's just so unexpected. And people running out from Kaesong Amarin, and you can see, of course, the building collapse on the screen there. That is just next to one of the most famous markets in Bangkok, which is Chatuchak Market. Actually, I drive around there quite frequently, and that building is under construction for a long time since I just came to Thailand in 2020. And this building belongs to the state audit office there. But unfortunately, that building right now, under that building, more than 40 or 90 people, according to our Thai PBS reporter there, so many people are still trapped in those debris. So it's very unexpected. I think, of course, the authority right now, they are still trying to save these people. And this is just the initial phase because we felt that tremor at 1:20 p.m. today. I think one more thing to say is about Prime Minister Petong Sinawa. Actually, right now is in Phuket. She already closed the Bangkok metropolitan as emergency zone. So actually, commercial zones right now in Bangkok has been all closed down, and some road and especially a highway have been closed. So the jam on the road right now is very huge. And actually, in Witayu Road here, you can see behind my back. I think cars there haven't moved for 10 to 20 minutes. So you can see at the back right now, this is one of the main alley connecting to Witayu main road here, and it's all jam and it's all stock here, and cars couldn't move anywhere. So right now, actually, some office workers, they say that they want to go home because office companies already let them go home, but BTS and MRT right now are being closed, are being monitored if that is still safe. We're still waiting for Bangkok government and of course BTS and MRT companies to see if they can reopen the both lines here. But right now they are still closed down, so people can only go home by their foot. This is the latest, Ned.
At the GPF tower. So, how have people been reacting to this unprecedented earthquake here in Bangkok?
So I think, of course, people when the tremor really struck Bangkok, everyone running outside from their buildings, and they cannot handle this situation because most of people in Thailand, Thai people or foreign tourists, they wouldn't think that one day a big tremor will really shake Thailand's territory. And right now, of course, I think right now, looking around, people actually they are still staying outside. They don't want to go into building, and some people actually, I took some video for our reporting this time. Many people also just sit outside. They are very afraid and frightened about just what happened. And some people think that it's not real, it's unrealistic because we wouldn't see this very huge level of tremor in Bangkok. But this just happened and people are still finding out how to go through in the future. And of course, we are still monitoring about the collapse of that building in Chatuchak at this moment. And please, I think, give the hope to those people trapped on the building. Back to you, Ned.
Were you shocked to find out that there's an earthquake here in Bangkok?
Yeah, definitely because in Taiwan, I feel that actually maybe once every 2 weeks, and that's totally fine. But in Bangkok, people wouldn't connect Bangkok with tremor or earthquake, but this time it's just so unexpected. And I was feeling that I was dizzy at the time. I thought that it's my body's problem, but no, because people were running out with me together from Gaesong Amari.
I think what we both felt the same way is that when there was something, we thought that we were just being dizzy, but no one ever thought that there would be an earthquake in the heart of Bangkok as well. So I think maybe people can relate to our accounts when we found out there was an earthquake in Bangkok. Here at Thai PBS, we also felt the tremors as well. And all of us were rushing down to the ground floor for their safety. And no one ever expected this because we may have heard that there are earthquakes, like the tremors were felt in the northern provinces. But whoever thought that it would happen here in the city? But do you get to talk to people who have felt the tremors like earlier today?
Yeah, definitely. The first word they always give it to me is "dokjai," which means frightened, worried, or just suddenly shocked by this kind of incident. And people actually they just want to run out from the building, and they just want to rush out and go to the empty ground. And this is the right procedure to go. But of course, I saw some people actually when they ran and they trapped on the ground. So it has to be very careful, and people should walk slowly with manner and just go to the empty ground for the tremor start.
All right. Thank you so much for the update.
Thank you.
All right. And that was the latest from Frank Hanshi from the GPF Tower. I believe there is an event going on, and Frank was covering the event as well. But turning to the latest in Myanmar, there have been reports that there is another earthquake following the first one around 1:30 p.m. today. And Mini Natasha has the update. So what is the latest that you found out so far?
The situation in Myanmar is quite similar with Bangkok. People run for their life, and the hottest hit area is Mandalay, Myanmar. So we got a photo coming in from Myanmar. So the question is, where is Mandalay? May I have the map, please? ขอภาพแผนที่นะคะ Where is Mandalay? Mandalay, Myanmar is the second largest city. As you can see now, it was an old capital of Myanmar. Mandalay is located in the central Myanmar. You can see that, right? In the central Myanmar by the Irrawaddy River. It is an ancient royal capital center of Buddhism. Well, the city is home to about 1 million population and also the home of all precious structures that are important for historical studies. This raising concern that earthquake might destroy them. And here comes the questions of, is Myanmar prone to earthquakes? The answer is yes, everyone. And this is not the first time that earthquake happens in Mandalay. Earthquakes are pretty common in Myanmar. It sits within the Alpine belt, or you might know as Alpine Himalayan belt, the second most seismically active region in the world. So moving on to the current event, the United States Geological Survey, USGS, said the earthquake was 7.7 magnitude and at depth of 10 kilometers. And according to CBS News, an aftershock with a magnitude of 6.4 shook the region 12 minutes later. So we're moving on to the Facebook page, Nutty Loves Myanmar. You can see that the picture showed the massive damage of Mandalay Airport. The hallway, the waiting area is now full of debris everywhere. You can see people standing down in a bracing positions. And another hardest hit area is a major hospital in Myanmar. the major hospital already declared a mass casualty area. Apart from the airports, there's a report of witnesses saying multiple buildings collapse in Mandalay. 3 residents of Mandalay, one of course Myanmar's largest cities, told Reuters that they saw multiple buildings collapsing as score, and they ran out to the streets when the quake hits, similar to the situation we're facing here in Bangkok. And there's also a report in Naypyidaw. There's a huge crack on the road ถนนนะคะเกิดรอยแตกขนาดใหญ่ after the powerful earthquake hits Myanmar. The cars and motorcyclists drive over a very huge cracks, as you can see right now. And apart from the cracks, we also have a photo coming in. Pagodas in Naypyidaw also shows a massive damage at the building at monastery compound and pagodas after an earthquake, as you can see many places in Myanmar. Irrawaddy News also reported that 91-year-old bridge which spans on the Irrawaddy River สะพานถล่มนะคะ between Mandalay regions and was built by the British during the colonial period collapsed. Grave situation happening over there. Myanmar News report that the residents said the earthquake was so strong and part of the old bridge has collapsed. They running for their life, got terrified. Local residents share these photo on their social media along with the video footage of destruction. The question now is that what Myanmar has to say. Right now, there's no official word from Myanmar on damage. There's been no immediate word from the authorities. But an officer from Myanmar Fire Service Department told Reuters that they have started the search and going around Yangon to check for casualties and damage. And so far, no information has been confirmed just yet. And everyone, apart from Myanmar, China's Xinhua news agency said strong tremors were felt in southwestern Yunnan province with borders Myanmar, but there were no reports of casualties just yet. And this is all from Myanmar and China.
All right, thank you, Minnie. So that damage is really shocking indeed because the pagodas that collapse and the temples and the cracks on the roads, that is really shocking. Would you say? Yes, and we also heard that Myanmar has declared a state of emergency in 6 regions in the country as well. Am I correct?
Right.
Yeah, and
I think
yeah, you can see that it is really a huge disaster for Myanmar and also nearby countries like Thailand and China as well.
Right. Even Myanmar has faced this kind of situation before, but this time it's also giving them mass destruction.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Minnie. All right, and we have some latest updates from Thailand. Prime Minister Pathongthach Shinawatra earlier held an urgent meeting with Interior Minister Anutin Chaivirakul to discuss the measures related to the earthquake, and she said that she will make an urgent announcement later today on the measures to deal with the aftermath of the earthquake as well. And Bangkok Governor Chatham Sittipan has declared Bangkok as a disaster zone. Bangkok Governor Chatham Sittipan has declared Bangkok as a disaster zone following the earthquake earlier this afternoon. He also revealed that the earthquake has caused several buildings to collapse in Bangkok, and in response he has ordered all the relevant agencies under the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration to monitor the situation closely as well as to assess the damage, especially in hospitals, high-rise buildings, and also buildings under construction as well. And if we have the latest updates, do follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok, and our website, thaipbsworld.com as well, because we will keep you updated on the latest in terms of the aftermath of the earthquake today as well. And we will wrap up this special coverage today. Thank you so much for joining us. And by the meantime, don't forget to follow us on social media and our website for the latest updates on this as well. So thank you for watching. สวัสดีค่ะ